Racing League Truck Series. Tonight we go to the Go Mowing 75, first road course of the inaugural season here at Sim Racing League. Real quick, I want to introduce you guys to the members of the booth here tonight. And per usual, we have in-race reporter Robbie Racing. He's qualifying right now, so he's unable to talk to you and say hello in his normal British voice that you get to hear. First time I'm going to have a co-commentator in the booth with me this week. I have Country Caliber.
What's up, everybody? Glad to be here.
And then real quick, every week, you guys know, we like to bring in a different league, and we like to kind of just discuss with the drivers or with the owners of those leagues kind of what they got going on, so that anybody that's viewing our league, if you guys are interested in maybe racing elsewhere, this gives you the opportunity to do so. So here tonight, the owner and founder of NASCAR Racing League, we have Ty-Mac, also known as Tyler McMurray, Tyler McMurder, sorry about that. Kind of depends on how you want to call him, but welcome here tonight, Ty.
Thanks very much for having me. And honestly, whenever you have Kevin Tattersall and Robbie Racing and Country Caliber and Cola Motorsports all in the same sentence, I know that there's good racing going on, so it's a privilege to be here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Cola, he's got some bad internet connection tonight, so he's not going to be here with us. That's unfortunate for him. Give me just a second. All right, so real quick, Ty, you run a huge league, actually, and more platforms than just simply on NASCAR Heat 5. Could you go real quick and just kind of explain a little bit of what you got going on over there at NASCAR?
Oh, geez, how much time do you have? We have a lot going on, man. Right now we have the NASCAR Elite National Series every Friday. The playoffs begin this Friday for them. Scott Poznansky and Nathan Estep, Alfred Denny, Jordan Van Westen, they do a terrific job. Josh Van Westen, they all do an amazing job at running that league for me. The ARCA cars on iRacing every Friday. Justin Mons and James Morris and a few new drivers, new faces just appeared a couple of weeks ago, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. We also have two different series on Gran Turismo Sport, the prototype GR1 cars and GT3 class cars as well, Thursdays and Saturdays. And so far, we have over 20 drivers from 7 countries that have points in those two series after 2 races. And as you know, we have a lot going on Heat 5. We have the Motormaster Series and Truck Series playoffs that have also both begun this week, Mondays and Tuesdays. And the Platinum Cup Series is 11 races deep into their 38-race season on Fridays as well. And as you know, we run presets for all of those series. So it really comes down to driver versus driver mostly, and conserving the tires and picking the right slider that you want for the race.
Yeah, and so viewers at home, so that you guys know, I'm sure most of you do already, but the difference between a slider and a custom setup is a slider is the game gives you 9 options when you go to an online race. You kind of get to choose 1 through 9, 1 being tight, 9 being loose, and you kind of get to find a happy medium on how you like to drive on preference, but it kind of keeps all the vehicles about the same speed, again, depending on if you like tight or loose. Ty, you guys on Heat 5, right? I'm gonna talk primarily about Heat 5 simply because that's kind of what we do here at Sim Racing League. So you guys are nothing but sliders, and so what would you say the biggest difference between what you guys do over there on NASCAR and what we do here in Customs? What do you think the biggest difference is?
Well, when you enter the custom setup races, you have a very good idea as to how your car or truck is going to handle throughout the race, whether you have it set up to be a short-run car or truck or a long-run car or truck. Whereas with the presets, you could typically at most of these tracks, as the tires get more worn and heated up, the cars or trucks tend to get looser and slide around more. So some drivers like to choose a tighter preset slider to ensure that they're going to have more speed over the course of the long run, but then some drivers get a bit more aggressive and want that short run speed and want it to be loose right off the get-go on the short runs, and they choose a higher preset slider, a looser one. And so it really depends on what the driver prefers, and it depends on where the cautions fall as well. If there's a rash of cautions late in the race and you have a short run car and you're mired mid-pack in traffic, you might be able to work your way forward because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Over here at Sim Racing League, we have a driver that's actually running in the top three here that I know for a fact because I run with you in the Motor Master Series and the Platinum Cup Series over there with you at NASCAR. But Flash 9, he's been winning a couple races here, and he's one of the top three drivers here in points. So he's doing NASCAR proud week in and week out here as he drives the number 13 Ford in the Truck Series. But yeah, Matt Smith, great guy. Definitely representing NASCAR. He runs in a few other leagues as well. You have a different scenario for your short tracks, road courses, and intermediate tracks as far as your setups to your racing. Could you explain that real quick in case one of the viewers at home are possibly interested in maybe hopping over there and running in the NASCAR Racing League?
Yeah, absolutely. For our road courses, we typically turn the cautions off, which opens the door for a bit more strategy for pit stops in the final stage when there's more laps in each stage. And it also gives drivers, new drivers, an opportunity that are maybe less experienced on the heat games to jump in on the road courses, knowing that the field's going to get really spread out and they can stretch their legs a bit, go at their own pace, and try to learn the physics of the game and try to get better at it as well. For the short tracks, we sometimes turn the cautions off as well because we often have over 20 to 25 cars, trucks on the racetrack for our events. So sometimes we turn those yellows off for the short tracks as well to give the drivers some more fun, clean racing out there. And honestly, sometimes the racing becomes cleaner as well because the drivers prefer to tiptoe a little bit more, knowing that if they go spinning, that there's not going to be a caution to save them. So it actually really improves the racing a little bit as well. There's a lot of opportunity over here in NASCAR for drivers to step in and prove themselves against the big names of the game. Like, as you mentioned, Flash 9 races here, JCR, JWOW is back, JCR Clash in 04, NASCAR Oof. There's a lot of big names that race in the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series, Motor Master Series, Truck Series, and having all those leagues on preset sliders really opens the door for drivers that don't spend all kinds of time on the game practicing and preparing custom setups to get out there and practice for an hour or two and run with them and see if they can go out there and race them. And sometimes they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're getting ready to go green flag here with the Sim Racing League at the Go Mowing 75 Timac. It's always a pleasure having you join and having a conversation with you. And to anybody at home, you guys heard it here first what all NASCAR has to offer, especially on the Heat 5 platform. And as he said, there's iRacing, there's Gran Turismo, there's a few other games in there involved that they're always looking for drivers. So, Ty, from everyone here at Sim, thanks for coming in, and look forward to seeing your races, the Platinum Cup, this coming Friday.
Thanks very much for having me, guys, and good luck to all the drivers here tonight.
Thanks. Country, over to you. So this is your first night in the booth here at Sim Racing League. What are you probably the most excited about?
Really just, the new faces. You have guys in this. I've been looking at the list of guys in this league, and there's guys who I'm not really too familiar with. Guys who, I maybe never talked to, never raced with. So there's definitely some new faces, new talent that I'm going to be able to witness here tonight. And obviously, Watkins Glen is going to be a track where you can definitely see some talent be shown. Watkins Glen is a track where some guys excel, quicker than others. So it's definitely going to put on a great show.
Yeah, some of these guys you're really familiar with. I was just telling Tomac about. We have Flash 9. We have Cola Motorsports. You got Robbie Racing. He's our in-race reporter again. A few of these guys, top name drivers, AJ Storm, they run in the Cup Series over with you in Cringe. And so I know you're familiar with them, but there's a few guys that honestly I didn't even know prior to this season getting going. There's a C. Stevens. We got racing, and we had a driver in the 21 truck that he was struggling, causing a few incidents, so we had to release him here. And C. Stevens came to us, wanted to ride. We gave him an opportunity, and he's actually one of the top drivers now. So I'm kind of in the same boat as you, and this is these guys, all of these drivers together. This is their first time hitting a road course, so I'm really intrigued on seeing how well this can go. But yeah, we're getting ready to go. The timer is starting here at the Go Mowing 75 presented by Richmar Florist. By the way, Richmar Florist, to anybody out there watching, check them out on Twitter at Richmar Florist. Right. What are you out of these drivers that you've seen on the list there, Country? What are the few drivers that you believe you have your eyes on to win this?
Oh, I think the first guy you got to look at is Flash 9. I mean, he's won. He
Hold
got
on
the
just
win
a second.
last weekend.
I'm blue screening, so they're not going to hear you. Did you get an invite? Okay, yeah, we can accept those now. And then I'm off blue screen, so you can finish what you were saying.
Well, I think I'm gonna, keep an eye on someone like Flash 9. He won. I believe he won at Chicago. And I've seen him race, over in Cringe, and he's always up front, always dominating. So he's gonna be tough to beat. JCR McLovin. He over in Cringe, he won 13, 14 races last season, so he's gonna be fast. AJ Storm's always, fast, no matter what he's driving as well. So it's gonna be a tight competition field race.
Yeah, I think, man, be honest with you, I think Itcher Brochase, he's a former winner here in this series. You got JCR McLevin, he's sitting on the pole, and then we have drivers like Puddin, he's a road course ringer, as well as the foreigner, the Richmar Chevy driver of Robbie Racing. Those guys are good road course ringers, so I'm interested to see how this goes. And then, of course, you have top points guys like Coach Matt, we haven't even talked about, and he's starting in the top 5, so this is a good star-studded cast all around.
Yeah, and as you see, we are underway here. Yeah, so the 23 McLovin got the pole. Got to a pretty good lead already, and looks like a pretty clean start overall. That just shows how competitive and how talented this field is.
Early in the get-go, McLovin has the lead. His buddy, Coach Matt, sitting in third, but between them is Robbie Racing. We have a guy that usually finishes about mid-pack here. The 15 of Brennan. He's running in fourth. It has a really good run, but this is what I like about road courses. Just because you see somebody that has struggles on the oval tracks or the intermediate size tracks, once you get to a road course, you tend to see different drivers up front that you don't usually see up there.
Yeah, I mean, you see that in real life too. Michael McDowell would be a good example of a guy who really has a knack for road courses. Maybe an AJ Allmendinger. He has, you mentioned Puddin, a couple of seconds ago. He's definitely a guy who does have some skill here on the road course. And I'm looking through the field, and looks like we have 40 of War. Already has some front end damage and already lost lead pack here.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up there. To any viewers at home, again, not that anybody's watching now, but in case anybody watches it later, we do have damage on here in the Sim Racing League, as well as this is ×3 wear with stages, so we will have stage racing, of course. Top 10 all receive points. So it's huge to try to get yourself into that top 10, because a race winner only gets 30, but if you were to win both stages and finish poorly, you would still get at least 20 points just for the stages. So there's a lot that can happen just in the stage racing. You might not have the best finish, but still come out with the most points on the night.
Yeah, that's kind of like why I like having damage on. It kind of helps keep these guys from getting too aggressive. Keep these guys, a little bit more calmer. It provides better racing. It keeps guys from, getting knocked out of the way or losing valuable points as the race goes on.
Yeah, early on here, JCR McLovin looking like he's got about a 6 to 10 truck length over Robbie Racing. Robbie, if you got a copy while you're not under battle, if you're focused, don't worry about it. But if you could let me know on the laps here, as we're on lap 3. But I know in these trucks, it's only a 37 lap race, so this is going to go pretty quick here at Watkins Glen.
And Robbie may have his.
Yeah, so the field's going to be pretty tight here in this first stage. I mean, if you're going to be running high RPMs, it might be a possibility that you are going to burn the usual fuel up. So that'd be interesting to see if fuel is going to come into play. McLovin is on a whole different level. I'm just not pushing my truck too much at the minute and just biding my time. The truck behind me being nice and patient and plenty of room as well, so respect to that driver.
Yeah, I think one of the things I'm most impressed about right now is I'm not really seeing people getting loose on exit. Typically at a road course, these guys put their vehicles right on edge of being able to control them and not able to control them, because loose is fast, especially at a road course. And most of these guys seem to be doing a pretty good job right now of keeping their truck straight. Unfortunately, being that it's a road course, we will see a little bit of action, probably more in stage 3, but in the first 2 stages, the field tends to single file out as people are just trying to survive and put themselves in a predicament to make it to the end.
Yeah, and you have guys, guys who may have faster trucks than others. They may have to start a little bit deeper in the field because maybe they just messed up in qualifying, didn't get a good enough lap, so they're going to try to be very slowly but carefully make their way to the front. And they have even though it's a short race, you said it's only like 37 some laps. It's a short race, but at the same time, it's kind of a long race. If you have a fast enough truck, it probably won't take you that long to make your way to the front. As it's on the 00 of trying to learn who's in what truck.
That's more. Yeah, he's a newer guy. You probably don't know him.
I've raced with him before, but he's looks like he overshot the bus stop and got a penalty.
Putting in the wall. Looks like he must have got loose there on turn 10 when he got back on the throttle, and it just nosedived him into that outside wall. But the field is going to stay green as we do not run manual cautions here.
Yeah, and he said, you mentioned a couple of minutes ago, he didn't see a whole lot of guys getting loose, but that's probably going to change as the more laps they put on these tires. Probably going to be slipping and sliding a little bit more at the end of this run than they were at the beginning of this run. And obviously in a caution, they may be able to make some adjustments, maybe not a whole lot as you would probably do in preset, but maybe make a few little changes to help your truck in the next stage and obviously in that final stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Really interested to see this. I consider Puddin to be one of our road course ringers. And then I'm seeing drivers like Flash 9. I expected to see him up in the top. But one driver that started a little bit further back, Mr. Stage Point Racing here, the 51 of Billy Holcomb, has made his way up into, looks like about 6th place, but he's right on the tail of that 15 to break into the top 5 here as we're getting later into stage 1. So Billy Holcomb, he has yet to get a win, but he's top 3 in points simply because week in and week out, he just dominates in the stages. He's got more stage points than anybody else here in Sim Racing League.
Yeah, I had earlier in the day, I had the opportunity to go back and watch the Chicago race, and I think it was Billy Holcomb who started on the pole and led majority of the race. At least he ran up front the entire race and ended up, not getting the win, but had a great run overall. And that's what you got to do if you want to, you don't have to win every single race, or you don't have to win period in order to, be high enough the points. As long as you just run up front, get those consistent finishes, whether it's 2nd, 3rd place, maybe a win, you're going to be just fine through the course of the year.
Yeah, we spoke about how a lot of these drivers are going to want to move up. Everybody wants to be known as one of the top drivers in a league. Any league that you participate in, you want to be one of the top drivers. And consistency is key. We spoke about how the top 12 are the drivers that advance to Xfinity next season, but you don't have to be one of the top 12 that make the playoffs. You could be sitting 14th, miss the playoffs, and during those 3-4 playoff races, make your way into the top 12 in the old schools type standings and be able to advance. So consistency is a huge thing. As we see Puddin making a pit stop, looks like he was repairing some damage. Fortunately for him, he went a lap down, but I believe he's going to get the lucky dog. And anybody that pits here in the end of this stage is going to be able to stay out possibly. Although if you're the lucky dog, you might as well pit. But any of the other guys that pit, they might be able to stay out, play a little bit of strategy for stage 2 to put themselves in a stage point or stage points position here in stage 2. Is track positions key at these road courses.
Yeah, and that's what road courses normally provide. They provide a opportunity for guys to play a different strategy game than other guys, and with the help of these stages, if they don't have a shot at getting any points, they can come down pit road, get their tires, get the fuel, and they'll be ready to go, and maybe be able to restart up front in stage 2 and try to drive away from the chaos behind them, and set themselves up for possibly a stage 2 win. And you were talking about how you can be outside the playoffs and still make the top 12. I like that because it really keeps guys from not dipping out and keeping them interested as the playoffs start. That way you don't have guys just dipping out because they didn't make the playoffs. So that's a pretty good bonus of what this league has to offer.
Yeah, I 100%. One of the things that I've always had to deal with in league stuff is simply that once you get to the playoffs, you know, you have to minimize how many drivers make the playoffs, because otherwise, what was the whole season for? But when you do that, the drivers that don't make it, they're just like, well, two things. One, they don't want to be out there wrecking the guys that are in the playoffs, you know, so respect to that. But at the same time, they're like, well, I don't have a chance of winning the title, so this season's a waste. It's a bust, so I'm out. Well, here, like you were saying, you know, Sim Racing League, we actually, in case the guy that's sitting 13th, or, you know, he decides, well, I'm out, or I got eliminated first round of the playoffs, I'm out, I don't want to race anymore. Well, if you're sitting 13th, 14th, now you're one of the drivers going to advance. With that said, looks like stage one is going to come to an end. JCR McLovin winning stage one, followed by Robbie Racing, Coach Matt, AJ Storm, and BBS Brennan, and Billy Holcomb's going to round out 6th place. Robbie, if you could remember to get me the pictures. Also, back over to you, Robbie, once you're done with that. Sitting 2nd place, you just got yourself 9 stage points here in the early going of the Go Mowing 75. How's the truck feeling, and what's it going to take to catch that 23 truck, as it seems he's on rails?
It's definitely going to take consistency, hitting my marks every lap. I can see towards the end of the run he's getting a little bit loose in the rear end. Whether he makes the adjustment to fix that, I don't know, we'll see. But I'd like to do a shout out to Coach Matt during that first stage. He's right on my bumper, and then he just leaves me a bit of room, and then he's back on my bumper again. So he's definitely one to watch in this race.
That's always a good thing. You love seeing the people being respectful on the track. Road courses are really hard to do that, so definitely a huge thing right there. Country, I'm going to send it to you, as with those stage coming in, I'm going to try to get these points updated as quickly as I can, so I'm going to give it to you here for a few seconds at the beginning of stage 2.
Alright, well, we've already getting through turn 1, and I'm not sure who you're following on the broadcast, but the 21, he just got turned around already off turn 1. That was C. Stevens. He's one of the guys who I'm not really familiar with, but he's got that truck refired, and he's gonna try to see if he can salvage whatever he can in this stage. Maybe this will put him give him a chance to maybe play some strategy and see if maybe he can make some an aggressive pit call here at the end, and maybe try to get himself set up for a stage 3. I believe the 00 Moore got himself another penalty. The bus stop, as up front, the 23 of McLovin, he does have some company. The Teal Cooks now, he picked up a spot on pit road. He started 2nd. He's all over the back of 23. Coming off turn 7 down the front straightaway, and I believe it's 7 corners, right?
There's 11 here.
11. And the 4, AJ kind of dove it in turn 1. He gets into the 20 of Robbie. Or I guess you got the two of Coach Matt, because Coach Matt lost 2 or 3 spots because of that move in turn 1. That allowed the 23 McLovin to pull away through the S's.
Out there in YouTube land, we got NASCAR tuning in. Appreciate that, Ty. Yeah, so with the points updated, really cool thing here. Brennan running well, and Cola, unfortunately, his internet was lagging here tonight, so he wasn't able to race. But Brennan actually just put himself into the top 12, and McLovin now is sitting 13th, just on the outside. So this win, if McLovin can hold on and get the W, this would play a huge role for him in that cutoff line, as we're now a little over halfway through this regular season.
Yeah, that's right. You have McLovin. He's kind of picking up where he left off there at the end of stage 1. He's driven out to a pretty good lead. He had help to the 4 AJ Storm, who made contact with Coach Matt down in turn 1 about a lap or 2 ago, and now I think that's Robbie in 2nd place. This is really my first time also doing a broadcast like on a road course.
It's hard to keep up with.
Trying to navigate who's in what spots. And,
yeah, they spread out pretty quick and easy at these road courses, especially when there's contact, like what happened with AJ and Coach Matt, unfortunately. McLovin, with that stage win that he had just got, not to keep tooting the horn about McLovin, but he's just running phenomenal here. But that's also his first playoff point that he has received by winning that stage, so that could play a huge role if he does indeed make the playoffs. And if he keeps running like this, I don't see how he wouldn't. But Brennan, talked about Brennan making it into the top 12, and he's running in 3rd place right now, right behind Robbie. I can't give that man enough kudos right now, as this is the best performance I've seen of him all season. And other drivers, Flash 9 now has made it into the top 5, as he's right there behind Coach Matt, sitting in 5th place. So a lot of people, you included, have spoken about Flash 9 as one of the drivers to watch. And as this race progresses, he's slowly but methodically moving his way to the front.
Yeah, I think I saw last stage. I was following the 13. I believe we may have got some damage in that first stage. I may have been why he was, shown a little bit further in the back than we normally see him, but he's been able to navigate his way back inside the top 5. And at this point, you're just trying to solve, just trying to make it to the end, because you don't want to be up here having, a top 5 run and get a little bit too aggressive, maybe get a little bit more out of the truck than he probably can, and end up making a mistake, and I'll set you back here in the final stage, which is, the most important stage, because you don't win. You don't win this race by stage 1 or stage 2. So yeah, you have to still keep your nose clean, and don't lose focus. And I think BBS Brennan's done a nice job. He came in here outside the top 12, and it's definitely putting himself in a pretty good spot here, running in 3rd place.
Yeah, positions 1, 2, and 3 are actually as they started, as it's McLovin, Robbie Racing, and BBS Brennan. But to go with what you were saying, yeah, it's 100%. You got to keep your nose clean, as that's all that really matters. We just seen what happened with AJ and Coach Matt, and they were up front, 3rd, 4th, 5th place. But it's one little incident on these road courses when you restart and you got a truck in front of you, a truck next to you, and a truck behind you. It's really hard to focus on hitting your marks, and really, really easy to get into one of the other guys, and it can cost you so much. As now AJ, who was right on the edge of being in the top 5, is sitting back in 6th, 7th place now. So huge role that contact has played in the 4 trucks race right now, as now because of that, he's also going to be further back when they go to start stage 3.
Yeah, I think, as we get into stage 3, we're going to see even more of that, because you've seen, this entire field's getting spread out pretty quickly. It's probably, by the end of lap 1, it's already pretty spread out from the entire field. And if you end up making a mistake, or end up getting into somebody and it wrecks them and maybe wrecks you, you're going to fall outside the top 10, outside maybe the top 15. Depends how bad the incident is. And because it's so spread out, we're not seeing any cautions, even though we've seen a couple of trucks get crashed. We saw Puddin crashed earlier.
Yeah, Puddin just hit the outside wall coming off the final corner as well. So something was amiss on that truck right now. But back to you, Country.
Yeah, well, but 26 of Puddin, he at this point pretty much, the guys, they're going to be getting a lot more aggressive though, because as we get to stage 3, these guys, the guys in the back, they really have no chance of getting up to the front. Being able to challenge McLovin. That's the 26 on my screen, ended up hitting the wall at the bus stop.
Yeah, I think he's got a little bit of lag issue right now, actually. It looks like he's all over the place.
Yeah, he lagged out of a league race last night, or a couple of nights ago. But you have guys who, they have to get going. They have to, they don't really have a whole lot of time to kind of ride around, because once stage 3 starts, once you get spread out, you really have no chance of being able to catch McLovin, because of how big of a lead he's already been able to put together.
Yeah, we're caution free here at this race, and I'm a little concerned that once stage 3 gets going, we have a few fast guys that are running in the back of the pack right now, simply because, like you were speaking about, Puddin having his issues, and when you're in the back, if you're sitting 9th, 10th, it's going to be really hard for you to be battling for this win at the end of the race. So it might get a little bit more aggressive, as stage 3 typically does in these races, but
the 97 sorry to cut you off there, but the 97 just wrecked in the S's.
Oh, heavy damage on the front of that number 97 Chevrolet.
Dark Knight.
Yeah. Oof, that's a rough one. Dark Knight, I know he likes these road courses. I've never seen him in a truck. I usually see him in an Xfinity or a Cup car, and the trucks are a little bit tighter than some of these other vehicles are. So it is a different ball game for a lot of these drivers. Some of these drivers are top competitors in other leagues that primarily race nothing but Cup or Xfinity. That's a little bit looser. So stuff like this, seeing the 97 running so far back, having the issues that he's having with that wreck like that, it's interesting. As I spoke about last week, him and Trinity are the owners of the Old School Motorsports, and they're top competitors everywhere they go.
Yeah, and when you have a league with so many talented guys from other leagues across the board, when you put them all together, I mean, they're gonna, even some of the faster guys that you would normally see on track, there's a chance that they could be in the back just because of how talented these group of guys are. And I see guys in the back of this field right now that I've raced in public lobbies with. They show the speed, they show the talent, but they still, you're always going to have those guys who somebody has to run last. I think that's the easiest way to put it. And because of how spread out this field is, I don't even know who's in last place, honestly.
Final two corners, JCR McLevin takes corner number 10, hits his marks perfectly, dips down in for corner 11, and as he comes off turn 11, he's going to take the win in stage number 2, looking for a clean sweep here at the Go Mowing 75 at the Watkins Glen. Robbie racing second, BBS Brennan going to move up and get third, Coach Matt fourth, and Flash 9, can't speak enough about him, but he rounds out the top 5 here in stage number 2. One of the keys I think that everyone's going to have to remember is pit strategy is going to come into play. Who's going to try to save those tires so they can do maybe a fuel-only stop? Or the tires are so important here because left sides wear more than the rights. And that causes big issues as you can't do sides only. When you take 2 tires, it's rights only. So this pit strategy is going to play a huge role in this race.
Yeah, but I think at least in this cause of fly, we're going to see probably everybody take 4 tires and I'm not really sure how long stage 3 is, or how many laps they can go on fuel, but it's going to be interesting to see how they get through turn 1, because you're going to have guys who's going to be restarting maybe out to the top 5 that have trucks that can win this race, and they got to go here, and that's where we're going to see a lot more mistakes being made, and possibly maybe our first caution of the day.
Yeah, Robbie, I didn't get a chance to talk with you there, but definitely good luck here as you're getting to start on the inside of McLevin as we go into turn 1 here in stage number 3, the stage that matters. Sorry about the quietness right now, just updating these points real quick.
Got a few guys going through the grass in the S's, but once again, McLevin, he's got a pretty good lead here. Coming out of the S's, heading into the bus stop. That's Robbie in second. Looks like Coach Matt was able to get around Brennan for 3rd place.
Quick little facts there. The last 3 of the top 10 are people that we didn't see at all running in the top 10 in stage number 1, so they've moved their way up into stage points that time, as we have Kay Larson, who just started with us last week, so that's going to be huge. Rubbenham finished 9th, and Puddin made his way up to 10th, so after that stage 1 incident he is still on rails and making his way forward. Also, quick count on the bubble race, McLevin now has passed Brennan by 1 point and has moved himself into 12th, and Brennan sitting 13th, but more importantly, McLevin now has 2 playoff points after sweeping both stages.
Yeah, coming off that final turn, I saw the 24 get extremely sideways as we had the 4 of AJ. Looks like AJ has crashed down in turn 1. So maybe he went through the grass and got a penalty as he is completely stopped down here on the exit of turn 1. I saw Kay Larson get extremely loose off that final corner. I thought he was going to end up going down pit road, but he was able to keep it on the track. But
yeah, I think another thing that at this point in time in the race, another huge thing, because keep in mind this is a video game, as you can clearly tell. Flash 9 has a lot of damage on the front of that 13, but with this being a game, you have drivers that have spent money and got a wheel. You have force feedback wheels, you have non-force feedback wheels, and then you have the controller drivers. Anybody on a wheel at this point, especially if you have your force feedback on and up, you could be getting tired right now. So making moves like that you were speaking about Kay Larson, a driver on a wheel, you get loose and you're saving it too many times, and you're going to start getting wore out and unable to save them as this race progresses.
yeah, and I have a wheel myself, but I have a wheel that I never really use. But so I'm not really completely familiar with using the wheel, especially on a road course. So I can't really relate a whole lot to how, using the wheel probably makes these guys pretty tired. But I would assume that it's pretty bad right now. I'm not really sure who all in this race is on the wheel and on a good controller, but this is where they, I've talked about, having to stay focused. You can't get tired. You can't get, you have to keep your,
When I first got my wheel, actually, I was racing in what was Giggity Racing League, now the Cringe Esports League. I had just bought the wheel, and at the time we were racing 2 races a night, and so I decided to plug it in, and I decided from that day forward, no more controller racing for me. I wanted to get the wheel, I wanted to get used to it as soon as possible and be competitive, and that night we were at both Watkins Glen and Darlington. Talk about a rough night to get used to a force feedback. I did not know at the time that most people don't drive with the force feedback all the way up. I had mine tuned all the way max, and I was struggling after Watkins Glen, much less dealing with Darlington immediately after.
Yeah, when I get my wheel, I use it for maybe 2 days, and I gave up pretty quickly. So I still got to get back on the wheel and try to give it another try. I saw the 97, a dark night, to just exit pit road.
Yeah, I wonder if that was planned, or maybe he had an issue coming off turn 11, as it's a little early to be making that stop, but if you're only a couple laps short, you can make that pit stop and good to go from here on out. While we're in stage 3, to viewers at home, if there is any, we like to do this week in and week out. We put it on the 20 truck of Robbie Racing, not because we like Robbie, because that would be a lie. We put it on him because that is the Rich Mar Florist Chevrolet sponsor of the Sim Racing League. Check them out on Twitter. But here for about a lap as he's coming off turn 11, we're going to go ahead and ride around with the field on the Sim Sounds of Racing. Not quite a full lap, as Robbie only made it to the carousel, but you guys could hear right there all the hard braking points that Robbie was hitting, as well as other drivers, as we tried to go through the whole entire field there for you guys, and we clearly did as it came back to Robbie. But yeah, those braking points are really hard, and you can see where there's so many opportunities to make a mistake with 11 different corners, unlike your typical ovals that have 4. But if you're just a fan and not a driver, there's like 2 corners is what it looks like. But yeah, definitely 11 corners that all are different in their own way. You there, country?
Yeah, I'm here. I was muted there for a second, but
hey, you're good.
Pretty much when you're with the gears and shifting, you said there's a lot of mistakes these guys can make about when they're shifting, but there are also plenty of times where you can gain a whole lot of time when you're, shifting in second gear, up to third gear, or up to fourth gear. So that's where, it's really a 50-50 on, how these guys can take advantage of that. And I'm looking up front, looks like the 2 of Coach Matt. It looks like for a moment there he was catching the glove. I believe if there's anybody who has anything for the 23, probably that 2 truck of Coach Matt.
Yeah, I'm actually riding along with BBS Brennan right now. Battle for third is him and Robbie are nose to tail. Looks like Brennan shortcut the bus stop a little bit there this last time, so he decided to back it off and let Robbie get around him on the outside in the carousel. But Brennan definitely seems to have a hot rod in that number 15 Ford F-150, and he's all over the tail of Robbie, just hoping Robbie makes a mistake. But again, Robbie is kind of one of those road course ringers. I don't expect to see him make a mistake, so Brennan's going to have to time this and try to find a spot where he can make the move.
And do we have a lap count on how many laps we have left?
For Robbie?
11. Well, 10 and a half.
10.5 laps remain for the number 20. Sorry, had to. How many laps? Well, you guys definitely have to make a pit stop. Is that accurate, Robbie?
Yeah, 1 stop.
And since you're not under fire at this very second, how's the truck feeling? And do you think you have anything for the 23 and the 2 truck up there in front of you?
No, I have nothing for those guys whatsoever. At the minute, the truck's kind of loose because I took a shot off of I think it's 15 behind me. Brennan.
Yeah, Brennan.
And I got damage on my rear bumper, so I was a bit tail happy.
All right, well, we're going to let you go and focus on what you're doing, as the 15 is still all over the bumper of that number 20 right now. And good luck the rest of the way there, Robbie.
Appreciate it, thank you.
And, you know, you have Robbie sitting in 3rd place. You know, he said that, you know, he doesn't really think he has nothing for the top 2, but he's still running at least, he looks to have at least a 3rd or 4th place truck right now. And he has to remember just, you know, even if he doesn't win the race, you know, just make sure he has a good day. As Brennan goes to the grass in the bus stop and nearly takes out himself and 20. That's
Yeah,
pretty
it looks
close
like,
there, but
it looks like Brennan's got a really good truck through the bus stop, and I feel like that's where he's making up all of his ground on, Robbie. But then he gets too excited on the exit that he made up that ground, that he's kind of keeps shortcutting the final corner off the bus stop, and it's causing him to hit those rumble strips. And twice now I've seen him almost get into Robbie and have to correct it, but he's doing a good job. He doesn't seem to no harm, no foul. I don't see that he caught the wall, so it looks like he's damage free on that truck. Not 100% certain about that because I can't see their in-cars, but back here a little bit further we have Billy Holcomb. He's now starting to go under fire by the 26. He's only got about 3-4 truck lengths, but that 26 at Puddin was just a few laps ago. He was back all the way up to the next truck in line, so he's gained a good 2-3 seconds on Billy here in the last few laps.
yeah, and already we're starting to see some trucks come down pit road. It's had the 4 of AJ Storm. He's coming down pit road. Let's see, Trinity Beast Mode, I believe.
Yep, the 94.
The 94, yeah. He's also on pit road, and this is where, you know, these guys, you know, what can Coach Matt do on this pit stop to, you know, be able to maybe leapfrog the 23 McLovin? Can he maybe take 2 tires? Does he think maybe gas only? Would he be able to hold off the 23? Maybe just, you know, goes 2 tires or gas only. So I don't think we're not going to have a good idea on who is going to win this race until after these pit stops are over.
Yeah, and we're seeing a whole lot of tickers now. The 21, the 40, the 24, all on pit road. Dark Knight struggling again on the exit of the carousel. Not sure what is amiss on that 97, but he definitely did not hit the setup properly this week. Look for him to bounce back next week, but definitely a struggle for the 97. Yeah, I agree completely, though. This pit road, the strategy, we talked about it. Some people are going to go in there and you might even forget to adjust your stuff and take 4 tires accidentally. It looks like the rest of the field coming to pit road now. But yeah, so most people are going to take 2 tires, as it's only going to be about 7-8 laps remaining. But some people are going to take, as Flash 9 and McLovin are both on pit road, some people are going to take 4, some will take 2, some might even try the gas only strategy. I don't know if I like that. Looks like Coach Matt's going to beat McLovin off pit road.
Yeah, that's big. That's a huge moment in this race right here. I mean, like the first lead change of the entire race, and now Coach Matt, we're going to see how good of a truck McLovin has. You know, he hasn't really had a whole lot of competition this entire race, and now he's going to have to put those gloves on and go to work here, as we're probably less than 10 to go at this point.
Yeah, I think we're down to maybe 6-7 laps left, as they were at 11, 10 and a half when Robbie last spoke. So, Robbie, when you get 5, can you let me know?
Mm-hmm.
McLovin going through the carousel here, trying to get to the inside of the 2. I'm thinking the 2 did the 2 tire strategy.
I mean, it wouldn't be if he took 2 tires, and there's really no way he's going to be able to. If you're going to take 2 tires, you want to have at least maybe a 3 or 4 second lead. But McLovin already had a pretty good lead coming into pit road, so even if Coach Matt took, fuel only, he wouldn't be able to get as big of a lead as he would have liked, because of the lead McLovin had on him previously, in pit road. So he's going to have to really try to fend off that 23. But if you're McLovin, go ahead.
It's interesting you say that, right? Because a lot of drivers that I know of, they actually prefer their vehicle on older tires as they, the truck kind of settles, whether it be sliders or setups. Excuse me. You kind of have your truck set up expecting a long run, so the short run's not really there. It's a little bit too loose, a little too tight, something like that, and then it comes in about 3-4 laps in. So if Coach Matt felt that his truck was in that way, he could take no tires, like you were saying, fuel only, and his truck might be handling the greatest for these next 3 laps while McLovin struggles waiting for his truck to come in.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, I believe it was a Heat 4. You know, it used to be where older tires were a lot more beneficial, but I feel like on Heat 5, in a way, it's the same way, but I don't think it's as beneficial as it was on Heat 4, at least on the preset side. I've done a few preset races last season in Cringe where, you know, you're on older tires, thinking, you know, you might be in a pretty good spot, and it just doesn't work. So, but it looks like Coach Matt, he's doing a good job though. He's hanging on. You just have to stay focused here and hit his marks.
Yeah, I've seen a few spots where he seems to be going a little bit wider than what McLovin does. McLovin's kind of pinching the bottom, and Coach Matt's going a little bit wider, but looks like Matt, it's helping him on the exit of the corners. He's able to kind of diamond it, which is something you typically see at these road courses.
Yeah, and if you're McLovin, you know, your goal is to make that number 2 just overdrive the corner. That's what you're trying to do if you're McLovin. You want to put as much pressure on that 2 truck and make him overdrive the corner, maybe get him loop, maybe have him drive it in the corner a certain way where when he's exiting the corner, he gets loose off. That's where McLovin can maybe have an easier time at making a pass.
Yeah, back a little bit further. Robbie's still running in 3rd, but Flash 9 has now made the move on Brennan and got himself into 4th place, and he's trying to catch up to that 20 truck and get into 3rd. But guys, as we're running out of laps here, I believe this is going to be 5 to go. Trying to watch this race for the lead. Can McLovin get back around Coach Matt? Or has Matt just timed this perfectly? Knew he had a good truck and was just riding until that pit stop. As it looks like McLovin's struggling to make up the ground on that 2 right now. And almost like he's over driving it and not hitting his marks like he was earlier when he was in the lead.
Yeah, you saw him clip the grass from the S's. Coach Matt pulled away just a little bit. And McLovin, you know, I just said, you know, you want to make the 2 truck overdrive. It both, honestly, looks like the 23's the one overdriving the truck right now, but he still has about 4 more laps to, you know, work on the 2 truck. So he still has plenty of time. You know, 4 laps at Bristol is not a lot, but 4 laps at Watkins Glen still plenty of time to make a game plan on how to make a pass here for the win.
Yeah, road course is 4 laps too many. That's about how much I like them. But yeah, there's plenty of time here. So McLovin overshoots turn 10, tries diving it in really hard. Looks like he lost a little bit of ground coming off turn 11. Coach Matt, I'm thinking at this point, as long as he hits his marks and stays steady, Coach Matt might be your race winner as he's trying to hold off the unstoppable 23 of JCR McLovin.
Hey, Coach Matt, though, he didn't look so stable, though, coming off turn number 11. He got a little loose there coming off that final corner, but didn't really kill him a whole lot in time. But if he did take 2 tires and he's already getting loose, that could play in McLovin's hands here the next couple laps.
Yeah, I scrolled back here just a little bit. You can see Robbie racing now. You've seen the gap here about a lap and a half ago, 2 laps ago, as Flash 9 was a few truck lengths behind the 20, but now he is right on the bumper of that number 20 Chevrolet, looking like he's going to try to get himself in a podium position so he can get an interview after the race.
Yeah, looking through the field, looks like the 4 of AJ Storm had a little bit too much fun for the day. He's taking that truck to looks like he's probably in the garage now. He's not moving. I'm not really sure where he is in points.
AJ, he's sitting pretty good. He's 4th in points prior to this, and so even without finishing, he did get some stage points here today, so that's going to help him. Ooh, Robbie, it looks like he got loose on exit. 13 now looking to the inside of him as he's getting ready to go into turn 1. 3 laps remain here at the Go Mowing 75. Flash 9 dives it in deep, but he holds the bottom. Robbie trying to the outside, but he's not going to be able to keep up that 13. Flash 9 now up to position number 3, as now BBS Brennan trying to capitalize on the racing as he's caught the 2 of them, and he's trying to get up into 4th place and advance his a little bit further, as he's, like we spoke about all day, he is on the bubble of making the playoffs right now. Robbie racing Back to the inside as they get ready to go into the bus stop. Thinks better of it. Doesn't want to go side by side there. Flash 9 cuts the grass a little bit. Robbie racing to the inside. Flash 9 into the wall. He's wrecking. The 13 wrecks hard coming out of the bus stop.
Yeah, looks like he's just trying to give it all he can. They're trying to get that third place, and that's just a mistake that, just getting a little bit too aggressive there. But we're coming to 2 together, you have to be aggressive and up front. I mean, we have a race for the win here. McLovin, he had a great, this past lap he just had was a really good lap for McLovin. He executed turn 1 perfectly. He got up to the S's better than Coach Matt, and here he is on the bumper in turn 1 again.
Yeah, real quick, back to the Flash thing. I think that all started when he cut the grass. I think he was trying to hold Robbie off so bad. And realistically, I think where that happened is when Robbie looked to the inside, Flash thought he had to give a little bit more room and cut the grass. And I think catching those rumble strips is probably what caused him to, on the exit, get into the side of Robbie and end up wrecking. But McLovin up here all over the tail of that number 2 as they go into the bus stop. 1.5 laps remain here at the Go Mowing 75, side by side, going into the carousel. Coach Matt comes up just a little bit and is able to hold him off of McLovin with this, whatever. He tries to get to the inside now of the 2. Unsuccessful. He shoots to the outside to set himself for the inside of turn number 10.
Yeah, he was trying to cross him over, exiting the carousel. Couldn't get it done. And a little bit of contact there in the bus stop, but it's going to be one heck of a race. You see McLovin's on the inside here in the final corner.
Contact is made in turn 11. Ooh, side by side coming to the flag. White flag. I like it. This is good racing. Go ahead.
Matt got a nice launch off the corner there.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of contact. Maybe his right rear kind of put the 23 down onto the rumble strips, but that 23 is fighting hard. He knows he has a good truck, and he's dominated both the first 2 stages. He was dominating this third stage until the pit stops as we're on the final lap getting ready to go into the bus stops. Where will McLovin make his move? I think he tried last lap, and Coach Matt now knows where those spots are that McLovin is running a little bit faster than him.
And he's going to give him the bumper here in the bus stop.
Oh, he puts him into the grass. They both in the grass. Coach Matt saves it. He's still on the inside of McLovin. Side by side through the chicane. Or the carousel.
Gave Coach Matt permission, though, to maybe rough up the 23 if he has to win this race.
Coach Matt holding him off as they get ready to go into turn 10. Will McLovin give him the bumper again? Coach Matt dives it down to the inside. McLovin shoots. Oh, they both overshoot the corner. McLovin gets to the inside. Coach Matt trying to hold the bottom. McLovin slides up the track. Coach Matt gets really loose, hits the inside wall. McLovin is going to be your race winner here at the Go Mowing 75 at Watkins Glen. What a finish. That was like watching Marcos Ambrose and Brad Keselowski on the final couple laps here.
Yeah, and while those 2 guys are battling, Robbie was hoping in 3rd place that those top 2 would crash, and maybe Robbie could sneak by and still the win. He'll be 3rd place. It's like BBS Brennan will be 4th, and maybe Flash. I believe Flash maybe was able to recover to 5th place.
No, Flash ended up way behind the whole field. I don't see how he made it up to 5th, but I'm going to try to get.
He's in the 13, right?
Yeah.
I think he should be in 5th place. Unless he went a lap down.
Yeah, he's in 5th.
Oh, he did get 5th. On my screen when he had wrecked, the whole field had passed him. That's why I wasn't sure about that. Going to try to get McLovin and Coach Matt in here. I don't know if it's a great idea to bring them in together.
I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Those guys are buddies, and it's a road course. If I was driving that, your hands are up on the steering wheel hard, as that was a really, really good finish to a road course race. Neither one of them got wrecked. You know what I mean? To me, that's just good hard racing. Robbie, you rounded up the top 3 in-race reporter, so we don't have to go very far to try to get you into the booth here. Great run. You didn't have anything for the 23 and the 2, same as you spoke about, but we see an incident that happened with you in Flash 9. What happened there?
So what happened was we come down the long straightaway and I did a peek on the inside to see if it sort of messed with his line a little bit, and turns out it did. I mean, if we were side by side, like, one of us would have had to check up anyway, but I let off early. It messed with his line, and then we come into just before that carousel and it was a little bit sketchy, so I held it down as low as I could, and I really did not mean to get into him, and I think I might have accidentally doored him, but I was off the gas. So, but I'm glad he didn't fall too far behind, because he is a fast driver, and he's definitely a top 3 driver, so that's unfortunate for him. And sorry, bud.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, as he was running really good. McLovin, not only does he get the win, but he also ended with the fast lap here. Trying to get the two of them in to the broadcast. I think I invited them. It should say on your guys' screen that I did, but at this point in time, neither one of them have joined. Other than that incident that happened there, Robbie, you had a really good, strong truck. I spoke about you being a road course ringer. I'm assuming that you were really, really looking forward to this race.
In all honesty, no. I can't stand road courses. I hate them. That's my honest opinion. I'm not a fan of them whatsoever. My truck was at a 109 before I started messing with it, and then finally got it down to the 108s, but fast, but just not fast enough.
So over there in the United Kingdom, they make good road course vehicles, just not ones good enough to beat the likes of JCR and Coach Matt. Congratulations, man, and you did well, so definitely something to be happy about. And with War not getting any stage points and you beating him, as well as Nuka Bob Quantum not being here tonight, and I believe even Dark Knight struggling as much as he did, you might move up into the top 5 in points. So congratulations, and we'll see you next week at Bristol.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Did Coach Matt join?
No, but we got McLovin.
I seen him join. I was trying to get to Coach Matt prior, but Country, you want to take this one? You want to go with McLovin?
Yeah, McLovin. First off, congrats on the win. He definitely put on a great performance the entire race. He swept the 2 stages. The first 2 stages, he lost the lead, but you were able to get that lead back and win the race. How were you able to get around that too, Coach Matt? And did you think you have a chance?
Yeah. Well, it was a setup I built a few months ago, and me and Coach Matt were running the same equipment, so I knew he'd be a challenger eventually once he got through the traffic. The car was good. He kind of beat me out the pits there because I almost blew a tire on entry, so I had to really slow it down that last half a lap. About going into the pits, I was at 2%. So I let him by. We went into the pits, came out even, and I decided at that point I wanted it to be between us no matter what happened. So I kind of just rode behind him, let him hit his part, didn't want to put any pressure on him until the end, just to make sure it was decided between the 2 teammates. He's really talented, man. I know he's a little mad at me right now. I gave him the bump a couple times, but I had to go for the win. I mean, I wasn't gonna wreck him, but I was doing everything I could to get around him. There was a couple of runs a few laps earlier where I knew I was quicker than him, but every time I'd get a run, I'd have to brake, so I wouldn't get in the back of him. I tried to do it as clean as possible. Then last lap, I was like, I told him, even told him, like, anything goes here, whatever happens, one of us is gonna win this race. We both did what we needed to do there to try to get the win, and I came out on top. But I do want to apologize to Matt for how that race ended. I know he wanted that win bad too, and we're good friends, so I'm really sorry for how it happened, but I'm glad I could bring home the W. I knew I had a really fast truck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he also
Go ahead.
He also entered the race outside the cutoff, so this win should help you with the Colin out race, and you could possibly move into the top 12 in points after this race. So it's a pretty good day for you overall.
Yeah, great effort, man. I mean, I knew I'd have a really good shot here, especially with Cola not being here. I felt like he was probably going to be the toughest competition. A lot of guys had really good cars or trucks. Robbie, AJ was up there a lot, Flash 9, Brennan, Coach Matt, all really good trucks. It was just a matter of trying to be consistent throughout the entire race. And I think me and Coach Matt were probably the best at doing that, and that's what got us in position at the end to have a chance at the win.
Yeah, McLovin, definitely a great job there on that battle. It was like Marcos Ambrose, Brad Keselowski battle. It was really fun to watch. A little contact, it's road course racing. We're gonna let you go on and celebrate. Get those few. What do you drink? Dr. Pepper. So
Who,
you
me?
kick yeah, I'm just messing
I
with
don't
you.
drink soda. Yeah.
I was just kidding. We'll let you go. Kick back for you. Congratulations, man, and definitely that will indeed move you up into the top 12 with the clean sweep here at the Go Mowing 75. So congratulations, McLovin.
Thank you.
All right, on to, he just joined, our second place finisher, Coach Matt. You put on one heck of a show. Pit stop put you out in front. You were holding it on really, really well. There was a little contact, few points here and there. All in all, I thought you did a great job handling it. And to be honest with you, I thought you still had the race won until you got loose off turn 11, the final corner of the race. Go through those last couple laps for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing to say the least.
Man, a few words.
Road courses. Hey, am I muted?
No, I said man a few words. I heard you, but it was like, that was insane.
Okay, but yeah, anyways, I mean, he's insane at these road courses, man. He's probably one of the best of the game. And so I knew it was just a matter of time before he got to me. Only reason I was able to pass him going into pit stops is because he had a left front going down. I think he had pushed a little bit too hard trying to get out front, and so he had that left front going down, so he had nursed it, back to pit road. So the only reason I got the lead to begin with, I wouldn't have caught him, regardless. So second's probably where, I thought I would have been, throughout the race, but, having a chance to win and being up front late, definitely thought, definitely thought I had a shot at it. So, I mean, disappointing, but expected, I guess. I don't know. I mean, he's not a dirty driver, and he wouldn't, wreck me on purpose, but I was just a little bit slower through those parts, and, it's the last lap, and he's just trying to go. So, I wanted to win. I've had terrible luck at this place, man, at Watkins Glen. I don't know how many times I've been up front late or dominated a race and not, won, whether it's late cautions or, getting, taken out by, guys that, got jumps on those late cautions and late restarts and stuff like that. So it sucks, but second's probably where I should have been, anyways.
Yeah, entering tonight, you started in third place in points here in the Sim Racing League after finishing third. Well, I know after stage 2, sorry, you finished second anyways, but after stage 2, you had actually tied Flash 9 for second place in points, and he wound up fifth, so you're going to get 3 points more than he did, which should actually put you in second, but I'm not sure how that's going to go with Billy. You might actually end up in the lead there as he finished a little bit further back, so all in all, you didn't get the victory, but it was a great points night for you as you received stage points in both stage 1 and 2, and coming home second with a tight battle like that with your good friends got to feel good at the end of the day. Again, not as good as a win, but it's got to feel pretty gratifying knowing that you had such a good day.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's, being disappointed in second place is a good thing. It just shows, you have high expectations and, that you expect to be good places. So, I guess we can, take that. But, yeah, and as far as points goes, I mean, I know I struggled at Dover just not being prepared. So I tried to put a little bit extra time into working on this track this week, and it showed. So, just back at it next week, I guess.
All right, yeah, next week is Bristol. How you feeling about entering there? And then we'll let you go and celebrate your second place finish with your buddy McLovin.
I mean, Bristol is not a track where, I feel super confident, super strong at. So I'm going to have to put some work in just to have a decent showing. I know there's some guys that are really fast around there. So I'll do what I can to string together some decent finishes, which, I mean, just being up towards the top of the points is going to take consistency. You don't have to go out and win every week. So just try to put together a truck that can handle, and we'll see what happens. Just try to keep my nose clean and get a decent finish next week.
Yeah, keep in mind, next week is race number 7 as we're closing in on the regular season coming to an end, and race number 11, whoever the points leader after race 10 is gets to choose the race for race number 11. So looking strong on the candidacy of being able to pick that 11th race of the season. So again, congratulations, and we'll see you next week. Country, caution free for your first race here as a commentator for the Sim Racing League. Road course, it's a hard one to commentate, but how'd you see the racing in general overall? Country?
Yeah, it was a really good race. It was very spread out, but you'll have that on road courses, so it makes it a little bit tough to commentate. But it was a good race. You know, Coach Matt and McLovin, they put on a heck of a show up front, and all the guys did. You know, we had battles, even though it was spread out. We still had battles through the entire field. So overall, it was a great race and a great debut, if you want to say, for me in Sim Racing League.
All right, well, on that note, guys, we're going to go ahead and end the stream. Next week, about the same time, 6:55, we're going to have guest Mo Power NRG in the booth with us as he explains what Cringe Racing is all about, and both their preset and custom sides. He's a little occupied tonight as their Custom Xfinity series is about to go green. But tune in next Tuesday at about 6:55 Eastern Time as we'll be getting ready to go to Bristol in our trucks, and just prior we'll be speaking to NRG. So yeah, tune in next week, and we'll see you then. Thanks for tuning in.